They say the deepest wounds are inflicted by the ones you'd sacrifice everything for. I didn't die from it. I woke up. The day was bright, unnaturally calm, the kind of morning that makes you believe things will go right. Our family vacation had been planned for months. My sister volunteered to handle the reservations, like she often did. "You're always exhausted," she'd said. "Let me handle it." I trusted her completely. That trust was my undoing. At the airport, I pushed my suitcase to the counter, still half smiling at the thought of how excited the twins would be to see the sea. The airline employee typed on their computer, smile fading into confusion. "I'm sorry, sir, your ticket's been canceled." I stared at them, waiting for the joke to end. "Your family has already boarded the plane." For a moment, everything inside my head went empty, a ringing silence. Then my phone vibrated. A message from Alina, my sister. "You should be home taking care of the kids." Beneath it was a photo of my twins sitting alone on the front steps of our house, backpacks beside them, waiting. That was the moment something inside me shattered silently. After my wife died in that terrible accident, I was left hollow. Alina moved in to help, to cook, to organize, to be the comforting presence we needed. The twins loved her. I trusted her more than anyone. She became the foundation of our broken little world. But small things started to go wrong. Receipts disappeared. Phone calls were cut short when I walked in. Questions were brushed aside with laughter. She had the passwords, the schedules, the money, all of it under her control. I thought she was protecting us. I didn't realize she was tightening her grip around our lives. The day I questioned a missing bank transfer, she smiled softly and said I was imagining things, that I was just tired from being a single parent. Maybe I was. But exhaustion doesn't cancel flights. Betrayal does. That night, I held my twins close as they fell asleep, still shaken and confused. I made them a promise in the dark. No one would leave them abandoned again. The following morning, I combed through every piece of information I could find. Bookings for flights, hotels, tours, all in her name, paid with my money. There was even a new bank account opened under both our names, but she was the only one who could access it. She hadn't just left me behind. She'd erased me. The grief I'd carried for years went quiet. Emotion was a weapon she wielded well. Tears, guilt, pity, all crafted to control the narrative. So I stopped feeling, and I started preparing. I kept records. Bank statements, voice messages, screenshots, everything. I filed a confidential report with the fraud department, gave my lawyer friend every document he'd need, and then I waited, calmly, patiently. 3 months later, she came back. The vacation was a disaster. She spent recklessly, charmed strangers, and left unpaid bills across cities. She sauntered into the house like nothing had happened. "You should have seen the sunset," she said, grinning. "You would have loved it." I smiled back. "I will, when the bank statements arrive." A pause. A tiny crack in her perfect expression. The first sign she knew I wasn't blind anymore. For days, I let her believe everything was fine. She even started planning another trip. Meanwhile, investigators traced every cent, every forged signature, every stolen plan. Then, one evening, after the twins had fallen asleep, I placed a folder in front of her at the dining table. She lifted her cup of tea lazily. "What's this?" "Your ticket," I answered. "This one doesn't return." Inside were the fraud reports, closed accounts, legal documents with her name on every page. Her eyes widened, color draining from her cheeks. "You wouldn't do this," she whispered. "You left me at an airport, Alina." I said quietly, "You left my children alone. You already did this." She went from denial to begging to fury. I stayed silent. I didn't have to raise my voice. Truth was loud enough. When the police arrived, lights flashing against the windows, she screamed for me, for mercy, for time to rewind. But time only moves forward, and it remembers who was silent, watching as betrayal bloomed. As they escorted her away, she glared at me through tears. "You set me up." "No," I told her softly. "You set the trap yourself. I just watched you walk into it. Now the house is peaceful. The twins sleep soundly. Their laughter slowly pieces me back together. Sometimes I think about that airport, the empty gate where I stood alone. Betrayal doesn't always come with shouting. Sometimes it comes with a familiar voice and a smile. When people ask if I forgave her, I just say, letting go isn't forgiveness. It's remembering whose hands held the knife and choosing not to bleed anymore. And that, I've learned, is a kind of freedom.